I'm back. What up, Facebook? Hey, honey, you're in Valtopia, and I'm trying to do a live interview connection with my client Janet, and so I'm gonna tag her and see if we can get this working. So stay tuned. Let me share this with her. Let us do this. We're gonna do a live stream and we're gonna talk about her experience. Listen to all the sound effects just for my live stream. Isn't that great? And let me send this to her so she can see. Hello, hello. We're gonna have Janet on here with me, you guys. We're gonna do a live dual stream. 2 cosmic medicine women on one stream. What? It's gonna be so good. But let me share this to her and get her on here. Bear with me one moment. How do I share this? Share. Hi everybody, say hello. I'm back on. I'm trying to get Janet on here. Come on, Janet, where are you? Let's see, say hello everybody. Tell me if you're here. Hi Donna. And you know, I live streamed earlier too, so that is a good live stream. And this is gonna be an even more fun live stream because we're gonna have both of us on here. How are you guys doing? What's going on? Let's see if we can get, I know her tripod is one way. Hi Elaine, how are you? There's Janet. I see you, Janet. I see you. Hi, honey. I feel your throat chakra too. All right, let me tune in with you. I'm in your heart space and we're gonna chill out over here and we're gonna do this. So let me see if I can get you on here. I'm adding you. So there should be a little request right now for you to be able to come on to my view. Yes. Say hello, everybody, as you're joining on. We're about to have some fun. Yeah. Woo. Is it working? Is it working? I look frozen on the, oh no, it's working. Hi, Agnes, how are you? Welcome. Oh, Jill, what up, my love? Come on, Janet. There she is. Yeah.
I can't see.
All right. Let's see if I can hear you over here. See, it works. Did you have to go sideways or did you not have to go sideways?
So, yeah, I had to go sideways. And
okay. See, it's perfect.
So I
and
can't,
I like your back.
I can't, like make it brighter. How do I do that?
It's perfect. So how are you feeling now that you're actually live? You cool? Oh, there she goes. Gorgeous. I love it.
I can't do it with my glasses. I can't see.
Oh,
okay.
You look amorous with your glasses. I love it.
Okay.
So, everybody, those of you who know me, I'm Val Cripps. This is Valtopia, honey. You're in the Valtopia sphere. And this is Janet Ruiz. She is my diamond co-sister in my mastermind. She's an amazing healer and awakened guide. And she's just booked in this weekend and we had our first session and she had such a profound shift and she's so fucking aware that I was like, okay, can we go talk about this? Your ability to see what was happening is so great. And I just wanted to, you know, thank you for suggesting, you know, that we get to come on here and share the experience because let's talk about it. Let's talk about what happened. Because, I think most people don't understand what's happening when we do this energy work. And most people don't know when you're so aware, meaning like you're picking up on all the dimensions and then not knowing about it, and that's affecting your life experience. And I know that for all of my clients, everyone who signs up with me, this is the work we do, and I'm used to this. But you were kind of like, oh wow, what's going on? So describe to me, you know, maybe why you booked in, and then what your heart chakra just went, you know, and how, you know, kind of how this has been, or what. Tell me what comes up for you first.
Why I booked in?
Uh-huh.
Okay. See.
That's what you do first. I described you, but I'd love for you to share in your words what you
Okay, so I'm Janet, and what I do is like help women get just really in tune with themselves and their body and their sacred, sexy place so that they can just, you know, feel really freaking good in their skin and just, you know, choose the kind of things in life, like, you know, their health wise and their relationships wise, just like naturally choose things that like love them back and just heal their life and change the world in the process. So yeah, I'm all about that holistic goodness. And yeah, so this horizontal thing you got me doing is like makes me feel so awkward.
Why? It's from same size, we're side to side.
I know, like, because the
share, but I'm listening to you. I promise.
The camera is like on the other side of me, so I just feel like.
Oh no! If you like, you're in the perfect spot. It's great.
I know. I kept turning.
So tell me what made you book in? I know we had an amazing experience in my free group the other day. I think that might be what.
Oh yeah, for sure. So like the reading, Val took my virginity. I'm like, I've been on this journey of like clearing some major like religious stuff to just like really fully own my woo. And so being connected with Val is like, oh my God, like she's just been reeling me in slowly. And then like I would be like coming in for some and then leaving out, and then coming in for some and then leaving out, and then coming in. And then just that day that you were doing those clearings the other day, like I don't know, like I was putting Julina to sleep and I was just like, read me. I just popped in all of a sudden, and so like yeah, what did you do that day? The light language and the cards. Well, I had this huge fear of like cards and just feeling like that it was, I don't know, I guess I'd like to understand it as it's like a reflection, like it's just you know, more it's like it is outside, but it's just like a reflection. So it's not like something that's telling me about myself or who I am or what to do. It's just mirroring back like my truth, you know? And so it just coming to that understanding in your container of like, this is just like really providing a beautiful mirror for me to own who I am and what I do, you know? And so, yeah, I just felt really comfortable to just do that with you. And I was like really wanting it too. I was like, okay, like what? She's like pulling out one deck and then the next deck, and I was like, oh, they're so good. So, yeah, just then. So after that, you did the whole like clearing and the light language thing, and I just felt like so much like just going through my body during, because she was doing it, and I was like watching. Well, I had the earbuds in. I wasn't really watching that much because I was putting baby to sleep. So I was just kind of like laying there, just letting it happen in my space and being open. And that was another cool thing too. Like Val is like somebody I felt really safe, and like just like her energy, like her. I have this thing where I call it like empath ethics, because like, you know, we empath like into people's spaces so much, but like there's an ethical space, there's like boundaries, there's like, and I think that's what came up for me before with like so much of like the fears. And so just I felt really safe in connecting with Val and being open for her to read me and do the work with her, because like her energy is just so like innately like filled with love and therefore like overflowing with ethics. Like she won't do anything that makes you uncomfortable. She will ask you everything before, and you know, like it's all good. And so yeah, so just having that experience with her, like I've had that a few times doing some of the other clearings that you've done, and just like felt like the reverberations going through my body, and like, you know, wake up and just there's just something different happens, right? Like it's always like that, oh, something shifted, but you know, never put your finger on it, right? You just wake up and do shit, you know, like
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah. You just wake up and do it. I love that.
yeah. So like after that time or whatever, like it was just funny because I was like, okay, like, oh, you said stuff about like the whole witchy clearing and stuff like that, and I was like, damn, man, like I'm always like attracted to witchy things and people that say that they're witchy, and then I have this fear and I retract, then I'm like, I know like there's a reason why I always like draw myself to these circles. Like if it was really a thing that wasn't a thing, then I just wouldn't be coming around these circles all the time. I wouldn't be wanting to connect with these women all the time. Like, you know, so like you said it and I was just like it's just time, you know? Like and then yeah, feeling safe with you and your container and everything just felt like, yeah, I really want to like, I want to have this conversation with you. I'm going to do some of this clearing. I want to like embrace this stuff. What does it really mean for who I am? Because denying it and going against it is not serving me anymore. It's just creating so much stuck energy in me that like I'm so aware energetically that something is feeling like, you know, massively, but still so slightly blocking me, right? Like it seems like this so slightest thing, but it's like this huge thing, really. You know, like it seems like, oh, you can put these spiritual things off. They're like not a big thing, you know, like, but they're freaking huge.
Yeah, it's like
They're
your whole
really,
essence and your sense of trust and faith in yourself, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah, they're huge because, yeah, just lost my train of thought there for a second. I'm going into like the whole experience, like just from what happened after our one-on-one clearing session, like just all of like the clearing that happened, just the reverberations from the day after and the connections that I made, like um the opening of my gifting. Like I was aware of years ago that I have very prophetic, you know, tendencies and dreams and dream interpretations. Like I've known these things for a long time, um, but I kind of have like put them off and never really accepted or embraced them or called them what they were to actually like fully own them in my space, right? And so like the day
Yeah.
after, you know, just everything that was coming through for me, I was like open to it. You know, I was just open to it all and accepting of it all and embracing it all. Like this is fully me, this is who I am, this is what's coming through me, these are my gifts. And like there wasn't any blocks. It wasn't like, you know, oh, I can't speak to like somebody who's dead, you know, like I can't do all of these things, you know, just all that religious stuff that like, you know, will block you and stop you from doing all those things. That's like it's your gifting, you know, like it's so painful to like live life not living in your gifting because of these stories, because of the pain, because of these, you know, things that have been just, you know, it's in our DNA, it's just things we live through in our culture through today, you know. And to just do this work with Val and like, you know, she tunes in and she like helps you just clear all that stuff, you know, like in the most gentle, loving way. And it does like it doesn't feel hard or painful, right? Like in the moment. And like the releases are just they're relieving, you know. And then like everything becomes so clear, you know. Like I was after our session, I was feeling like, okay, there's like more stuff that's happening, right? Like I was just having this like, we did this clearing where we're like detaching from like all of these other spaces, right? Like detaching from what was it, like all the attachments to what like past stories, like generational things, cultural society, right? Like, and so after that, I just had this feeling. I was like I was just like the detaching was happening, right? And I needed space for that to happen. So she left me to have that happen for me. So I went to go lay down and just allow like all of the detaching just like it felt like tentacles or wires, like just all the ways where I was like attached to all these things and stories, right? And then like as they detached, I just felt like I was falling like from the ethers, like back all the way back into myself, into my body, fully into my body, fully into owning, into being who I am, right? And
Yep.
so after I did that, I was like, I had this, energy in my hands and in my feet from just like all this places where my energy had been attached to other places or leaked out, right? So I just like I had it all in my hands, and I was like, okay, what do I do with this? Like I want to put love here. Like I want to seal this with so much love. And so as I did that and laid my hand on my chest, it was like we had said before we started that like all the fear about demons and dark things and things like that, like none of that stuff actually has a place when you're fully filling and embodying the places all like, who you are and filling that with love. Like there's just no space for that. And as I did that and laid my hand, like I wasn't thinking about that, but as I had brought my hands to my chest and just allowed the love to rest there, I was like feeling like this resistance, like to push it out, right? But I was like, it's okay, and I just like made space and time for it to just fully settle in. And I felt like this like shrieking, like this is ah um come out of me. And it was like, oh, that would seem like it's demony or like dark shit, right? But it's like, oh my God, just all the understandings come through that it's like, what if that shit isn't even demony? What if it's just places within you that are just really longing for that love and that light, like fill that space, and don't be afraid of that shit. Like I'm all about not being afraid of the darkness, right? And so just like the next day, all of this like ancestral shit started coming up and clearing out, and just had so many opportunities to just like tears and just like really, really painful things that happened in my DNA line that I was aware of. And I brought so much love and like, I'm bringing like stories in, and like just the vision is coming through that I'm having. And it's just like this really powerful, amazing story that's so connected to my purpose and my passion. And like, oh, it's just like, oh, I could just talk about everything.
Tell us. I love it. It's so powerful.
Oh, you want me to tell it?
Yeah, we're here for it. Let's do it.
Okay, so
while a lot of people a lot of people catch up with my shows at the end of the day and stuff. So
okay.
everybody who hear this message will today, because I know there's a lot of people who do have that fear of exploring themselves. That's all we're doing here is exploring ourselves. Where somebody told you weren't allowed, whether it was a few centuries ago or yesterday, you get to say, you know what? Yeah, no, I am going to see the darkness and the lightness within myself and become a resonant tone.
Yeah.
Because it's my job to do that. So tell us. I want to hear.
Okay, so I'm like really big on just like the ancestral stuff and the clearing, like, so like if I let go of all those stories and all those things, then all of the stuff that is for me to like witness and see and connect with and know, whether it's to heal, to bring something forth through my passion in this lifetime or whatever, like now now the pathway is clear. And so that's what I felt, it was just pathway was clear. And so like I had a conversation with my mom the next morning, and because I was having just like these visions of like where the panic and the stuff that needed that love, like where was that coming from? And I was having these visions about having a child and like being a mom where something happened to my child and or something like that. And so I asked my mom, where in our genetic line was something like that happening? Did somebody lose a child? Like, and she told me that my grandmother actually lost a little boy, and it was a little boy that I was seeing, and that was coming through. And so she never told me this before, but she said that the little boy was like a year or so old, and she said that all of her life she never like got over it. She would always like bring it up and make comments about it, and she would just seem really like off about it. And so I don't know how that led to the conversation where she just filled me in on some really intensely dark shit that happened in my family around my aunt. And there's just like there are so many times that she has told me pieces of the story, and it's traumatic. I want to tell the story, but like part of me says just like wait or something. But like So it was like my aunt, Salsa. So I have heard pieces of her story before. My mom had told me that she always to say something was wrong with her. She was like a child in the head. And she never told me like the reason why. And she would say she didn't know, but something was wrong with her. But all of a sudden this morning that we talked, she was like telling me exactly what happened. And she knew. And it was traumatic what happened. And traumatic for her as a child to witness it and see it. And so like just having become aware of all of that, like all of that flowed in conversation. Like why did all of that just come together, right? Because the pathways are freaking clear, like, and she's just telling me like everything. Like there's other pieces in her story where she has like blockages, right? And then all of a sudden everything's just flowing clear. She's just telling me everything clear. And I'm like, because I cleared all this for all of us, right? Like
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know?
The thing people realize, you invest in yourself to do this weird stuff that seems weird. You're actually like doing it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're blocked, then we're blocked. If you're holding back, we're holding back somewhere. We're all reflecting each other. And if it's
Yeah.
your family and your time, you open up, they're going to reflect back to you that expansion. It's miraculous. It's
Yes,
beautiful.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just man, I when she told me like the whole story, like basically she was, you know, beaten for being beautiful and kissing a boy on a porch. And my mom was there. And she was grabbed by her hair and dragged and beaten so bad. Um, and then, like 2 days later, she woke up in the middle of the night screaming, and she had been foaming at the mouth, and she was having seizure, stroke, and that was the reason why she was never the same again. Um, and my mom witnessed the whole thing, and she was hiding under the bed. And so um, like I just started crying. I said, "Mom, because other parts of the story is that even after she was beaten and then that stroke happened to her and she was in the condition she was in, the person who actually did that to her, he would come into her room and take advantage of her and rape her when she was not in that headspace.
Wow.
And my mom saw that too because she lived in that house, and she remembers telling and being told to shut up and not say anything and hiding. And so I felt my mom and all of her panic and all of her disorientation of like, how do you reconcile all of these things and live this way, right? And I just started crying. And all these conversations I've had with my mom before, because I do this healing work, I do this deep stuff, right, with my clients. But when I talk to my mom about deep stuff, I have this like wall, this like this just
Because you felt her panic and
yeah,
fear and pain.
yes,
Fed it and let it loose.
yes. Oh my God,
And
see,
you
that's
let
what it
it break.
was. Yes, exactly. That's what it was. And so in that moment, it was like love, right? Like that was so fucked up, mom. And I just cried and I just said that just wasn't right. That was so fucking wrong. And she was like, her eyes got red. Like my mom does not fucking cry. You know what I mean? Like my mom is so not like, you know. So she
Cry
was like,
never allowed to.
yeah. And so she was, teary-eyed. And so I just felt like there was some release there. But, Julina, my daughter, was hanging around and she was hungry. So I went down to get food for her. And as I was down in the kitchen, just all of a sudden, this huge wave came over me and I just let it. I let it. Like I knew in that moment, like, and it was just like guttural, that painful, that wailing. Like, can you imagine her experience? Like, she was just a beautiful young woman kissing a boy, you know? And because she was doing that, she was yanked by the hair, dragged, beaten. Then she had a freaking stroke, and then she was raped multiple times until she just passed away. And like, oh my God, like I just, so many waves of that, just like, I let it come through me, I let it course through me. And then, later on that day, like I just felt her with me. I felt her in my DNA. And like, um, I just promised her like that I would tell her story. Did she want me to tell her story? I asked her, and she told me yes. And I promised her that I would tell it, you know, and I promised her that I would honor her with it. And I asked her to show me in what ways. And, you know, then today, like, just more things came through, and it's all linked to, you know, my passion, like all of my life. I just want women to be free. I want women to not have to look at men and have like for permission, or like they're beneath or whatever. I want women to be able to be sexy and freaking empowered and not be threatened by that, and by owning that and stepping out in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be a participant in creating a world where that is so, you know? And so, of course, I feel her so deep within me, and I want to honor her story. And just today, you know, I was having more and more stuff coming through about how, you know, she wants that done. And it's just beautiful. Like, I'm really excited to do it. It's like another project formulating for me, and it's going to go through on my website, and it's going to be part of what I'm doing. And like, I really hope that the way that, you know, she's asking me to tell it in service is really going to help people and inspire people. And yeah, so like, and just like having that, yeah, just having that clearing happening of like, there's so many other layers of that coming through too, like, because, you know, the person who did it is another part of the family, and, you know, like all of that family stuff, and going to that part, you know, of like that's to come, right? Like, that's to come for the next step, is like, how do you make peace with like somebody that you lived with all your life, right? Like, and they did these things. And, you know, like, if this was today in days, this person would have been in jail. You know, no woman would have been silenced. No woman, for how many people would they have let this happen in their family? Not today. I pray to God, never today, right? Like, but like, you know, this person was rampant, beating and raping women. And, you know, in those days, in that time, it was third world, you know, situation, country. Women didn't have, you know, they just didn't have what we have access to today. And so I always say this, I always say this, right? Like, actually, another woman had a dream, and she shared it on the timeline, and she was like struggling with understanding it. And I like pulled her things together because I had some dream interpretation stuff with her, right? And it was all like, the baseline here is this whole theme of like, the women that came before us, they had an actual sacrifice. When they didn't say anything, when they chose to live the way they actually did an actual, it was an actual sacrifice, because they just didn't have what we have available today. They either got beaten, you know, or killed, or like, you know, knocked unconscious.
In our body now.
Yeah.
We remember in our body now. So we do need to do this work.
Yeah.
To change the story, because we create from our DNA and our thoughts and our feelings. And the more we can flush that out, we change the story of what it means to be alive. Because it's been pretty shitty for a long time on that level, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, we've been rising up, but there's just been this suppression and this fear, and we get to shift that.
Yes.
We get to shift.
Like, it is how we honor their actual sacrifice, right? Like, there is no more like martyr sacrifice, like, in that space. It's just like, we have the opportunity today to honor their actual sacrifice by doing this work.
Free. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're wildly free to rise up this moment. That's like, why I get up here every day and come on and do what I do, even though it isn't standard and it isn't understood and it isn't always easy and all that. I don't have any right not to. Yeah. We are wildly free right now to do this work. We better do it now, you know, not better. We are doing it. Yeah. And you're right. Their sacrifice, they didn't have a choice, and we do. We get to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I honor you for taking that step through your own fear, of stepping into unknown places that you've been told not to, and recognizing your soul truth and your soul being, right? Your divine being that's guiding you with love and compassion and creation, instead of destruction and constriction and fear and fear is not faith or love. And clearing our channel and unplugging from the past and others allows that love to just come through and of us in such a powerful way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's so weird though, because it's like you're unplugged, but it's within you, right? So you're clear, so you're actually releasing the things from within you at the same time as you're unplugging from.
Yeah, it's quite a phenomenal feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you feel different in your clarity and your energy?
Oh yes.
Tell us about that. I want to hear about that.
And what? Talk about what?
Yeah, I know you mentioned confidence. You feel more confident.
Yes. It's just that was living in my heart, right? That darkness and the fear and the panic and my heart space, and like just my shoulder, it just feels like, you know, relaxed and calm. And when your heart and your shoulders are back, and I mean, that's just like a power stance, you know? That's like physically projecting forward more confidence and making me feel more confident, like I'm carrying myself differently, you know? And like,
I had one session.
You know.
Reading and you're
Yes. Yeah. So I already like reached out like this morning and connected with 2 people who were responding and engaging with my posts, and I've got 2 meetings coming up, and yeah, so hopefully, let's see.
You're booking it.
Yeah, and like more stuff is coming through for my circles that's coming up. I was like driving today, and like all this stuff was like coming through, and it was just like, you know, I get downloads before, but never in a way like now where like I see myself in them. Like, and I'm holding in my power space, you know, like I'm seeing and I'm feeling, and like it's just so, it's cool. I love it.
It's you coming to yourself, because when you are so gifted and aware, which all my clients are highly like sensitive, and sensitive meaning they can feel everything, right? And when we shut parts of that off, that is a source of anxiety, discomfort, depression, withdrawal, isolation, because it's like cutting off your arm because you don't kind of know what to do with it. Well, then you're kind of fucked, you know? So it's the same thing, to cut off your ability to hear beyond right here, and your telepathic ability to know, and you're like, it's just a natural part of who we are. It's not like it's not, you know, it would be like if we cut off our arms because we just didn't know. It's stupid. It's like hard to not be yourself, and it is easier and flowy and amazing when you get to clear all that bullshit stories and whatever, and then just breathe and be yourself. It is empowering and amazing.
Yeah, and it's like a whole nother level of like, you know, when people say like, just like that, well, okay, I'll just speak the truth because I know you and your peoples, right, will get this. Like when you're just so fucking like feeling into everybody's fucking shit, you know, like, and you're just altering yourself, just like, because you're just sensing every fucking thing, you know, like that just disappears. Like you just are totally in yourself and coming from that space, and you're just like, I really don't give a shit. I'm just fucking me. I'm just gonna be me.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. Yeah, just happen like that for you. Like, because sometimes people hold on a little longer, but most people have a very rapid shift with 1 or 2 sessions. It's all the stuff that comes up that, like, you had a deeply moving, you know, I was checking on you because that can be overwhelming. And that's why I don't usually do 1 sessions, because the work is very deep. But I do if you know what you're doing and you've been doing the work and you're aware of how to self-care and are already at a certain layer, then I am open to it. But most of the time, you know, we put like a 90-day on it, because
for sure,
happening. Even if just 1 session, like I don't even do that many sessions on my 1-to-1, and a lot of it is messenger, because your interaction with me that close is like a lot of shit goes down. So you need some time to integrate and situate into the new space of being. Isn't it miraculous?
It is.
And
Because I love your style, like just the way you play with energy, like, uh. Like I just like see Val in here, like, you know, she's sitting there doing her sacred geometry, like around your soul, because she just sees stuff, and she's just like, love, 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 love. This, open this. Oh my God. She's like painting on your energy field, right? Like,
that's actually the best way to work with me is if I'm painting for you, doing a portrait, because you can be a part of it. Otherwise, most of it's happening behind the scenes, right?
yeah.
Like when we're just talking, like I feel your throat chakra right now, and there's like some stuff starting to clear up, you know, and open up, and it happens, right? It's so cool.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask you? Like, if you were to tell somebody who was afraid or didn't really quite understand what it is, or didn't even really understand the concept about releasing generational pain and shifting, like what would you tell them? How would you describe why they would need it?
Well, it's
And I mean,
science.
you, uh-huh. What's that?
It's science. I mean, like epigenetics, if you've ever heard of it, you can look at it and search it and read about it. Like, um, that just experiences from our genetic line, they get coded into our DNA. And I mean, it's what, you know, there's just so much cool shit about that, you know, like if you really feel scared about like, oh, like generational or past stuff or ancestor stuff and what that means for you, or if you feel like just curious or like something from there is speaking to you, it's because it's living in your DNA, you know, like, and you know, science, the whole study of epigenetics and family psychology, there's like lots of science these days to confirm this stuff, you know, so it's really cool that you don't have to really live in fear anymore, and you can actually see science to confirm it, so you're actually not like, I'm just like in this weird container with this lady who's saying all this shit and I don't really know what's really happening because I didn't see anything, you know, like it's real. You know?
I mean, it seems that I think people go away and they go, well, that was fun, but
What just
and
happened?
I feel amazing. My whole life has changed, but you didn't really do anything, you know. And it's like, see you when you come back for your next, you know, when you realize,
Yeah,
like, yeah, I do need to.
because when you're doing that work with like the energy, right, like it's all about, first of all, when you're saying, when you're participating in your, like the way you're speaking and the way you're doing your clearing, because you don't do it like without permission or without consent, you know, like when Val is doing what she's doing, you are participating, you know, um, and so in that sense, like you're open to receiving and shifting and changing, and so because that is happening for you in your brain, like your brain is sending signals through your DNA and all these things, like, right, like that, it is more than freaking like possible to like sit here and scientifically map this shit out. Like, you know, they put people in Faraday cages and you can see how the energies are affecting just thoughts and like words and shit like that, you know? So like the words are powerful, the clearing language is powerful, the light language is powerful, like it's all moving and shifting energy within our, like I just got chills, so like it's all moving and shifting the energy within ourselves, and you know, it's with intention, it's with beautiful intention that you bring, and so when you're open to receiving, like you're just allowing that, just like healing, it's healing energy, you know. Yeah, I don't know how else, like, that's the best I got to explain it.
Vibrant, and I would love for you to post, you know, whatever, whenever your offer's ready on this live stream, so people can enjoy you and your presence and see what you've got, um, and and thank you so much for coming on and sharing your testimonial. You know, Janet's so gifted; she can smell things over video. What's going on? You could working on her after she, you know, put the credit card down. She's like, oh my gosh, I already see you working in my energy field, and magical what we do, right? So and it's really, I feel irresponsible for people to just say, yeah, whatever, you know. It's like, no, you have no excuse not to shift this energy, clear the beliefs, because when you do, everyone is such a powerful creator. We are anyway. You're just creating from lack and scarcity and fear until you do this work of shifting your mindset and energy and vibe. So do the work and have a better life. And thank you very much. I appreciate you stepping up, you know. So, well, I gotta go get my nails done. I gotta run, and I'm so grateful you came on live, and I'm glad. I think most of my audience already knows you, but they're happy more people to know you, and give Janet a shout and come join us in Valtopia. And I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love to your family and your tia and your mama, and I'm so grateful that they get to experience a release of that terror and horror and come into a place of love and peace, for sure.
Yeah. I'm just happy that she's been witnessed, you know, like I can't imagine how long that must feel to like never have been validated or witnessed like that. Just feels really good to me, you know.
We will all put our love in her spirit. Free and easy. Yeah. Oh, girl, you're so beautiful. All right, well, I'll talk to you offline. And bye, everybody. Own your frequency. Nobody like you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Etta. Bye, Angel. Hi, everybody. Bye.